Okay, here we go. Buckle up, because what you are about to learn is going to completely break your brain. An octopus can squeeze its entire body through a hole the size of a quarter. Not most of its body, not almost its body, its entire body. 8 arms, giant bulgy head, the whole thing, through a hole smaller than your eye. How is that even possible? And more importantly, why? Why would any creature on Earth need to do that? That is exactly what we are talking about today. The real reason octopuses can change their body shape. And I promise you, the answer is way weirder than you think. Let us start with the basics. An octopus has no bones. 0. Not a single one anywhere in its body. The only hard part of an octopus is its beak. Yes, it has a beak, like a parrot. Hidden right underneath its body between all those arms. That tiny little beak is the only rigid thing in its whole entire body. And here is the rule. If the beak fits, the octopus fits. That is literally how it works. If an octopus can get its beak through a gap, its whole body can follow. Scientists have tested this over and over again, and it is true every single time. The beak is the gatekeeper, so now you know the how. But the why is where things get really interesting. Most animals that want to hide will run away or stay very still. Octopuses do something completely different. They change. Not just their color, not just their texture, their actual physical shape. And the reason comes down to one enormous problem that octopuses have had for millions and millions of years. They are incredibly tasty. Seriously, almost everything in the ocean wants to eat an octopus. Sharks, eels, dolphins, large fish, even other octopuses. A baby octopus has roughly a 1 in 100,000 chance of surviving to adulthood. 1 in 100,000. That is almost impossibly small. So every single survival trick matters. Every single one. And changing your body shape is one of the greatest survival tricks that has ever evolved on this planet. Here is surprising fact number 1, and this one is going to make your jaw drop. Octopuses do not just squish themselves flat or puff themselves up. Some species can actually impersonate other animals by rearranging their arms and body into completely different shapes. There is one called the mimic octopus, and it can make itself look like a flatfish by flattening out and rippling along the seafloor. It can look like a lionfish by spreading its arms out in a fan shape. It can even look like a sea snake by hiding 6 of its arms in a burrow and waving the other 2 in a black and white banded pattern. It is doing costumes. A real live animal doing costumes. In the ocean, right now. But why go to all that trouble? Why not just have thick skin or sharp spines or some other kind of protection? Because octopuses made a trade millions of years ago. Their ancient ancestors had shells. Hard, protective shells, just like clams or snails. And at some point, evolution said, okay, you can keep the shell or you can have a giant brain. Pick one. Octopuses basically picked the brain. And losing the shell meant they suddenly had no armor at all. 0 protection, so their bodies had to become the protection. Flexible, shape-shifting, disappearing, hiding, copying other animals. The body itself became the defense system. And that brain they kept? That is surprising fact number 2. An octopus has about 500 million neurons in its body. That sounds like a lot, until you realize a human has 86 billion. But here is the wild part. 2/3 of an octopus's neurons are not in its brain at all. They are in its arms. Each arm can basically think for itself. If you cut off an octopus arm, which sounds horrible and we do not recommend it, that arm will keep moving and responding to touch for up to an hour. By itself. No body attached. The arms are semi-independent. They can solve problems on their own while the central brain is busy doing something else. So when an octopus is squeezing through a tiny hole, its brain does not have to micromanage every single part of every arm. The arms figure it out themselves. That is why it looks so fluid and effortless, because each arm is genuinely figuring it out in real time. This brings us to surprising fact number 3. Octopuses do not just use shape-shifting to escape from things. They also use it to hunt. The day octopus has a hunting trick so clever it almost seems unfair. It flattens itself out and spreads its arms in a wide circle over rocks and coral, like throwing a big net. Then it slowly walks forward on 2 of its arms, while the other 6 create a wall with nowhere to escape. Any fish or crab hiding underneath gets trapped. The octopus turned its whole body into a hunting trap. It became the net. Now let us talk about how they actually do this physically, because it is legitimately one of the most amazing things in biology. Octopus skin is not like your skin. Your skin just sits there. Octopus skin has tiny little structures in it called papillae. These are like little bumps that can be raised or lowered by tiny muscles. Within 0.2 of a second, an octopus can go from being completely smooth to looking like a bumpy rock covered in algae. 0.2 of a second. That is faster than you can blink. And underneath the skin, there are 3 different types of pigment cells all working together. Some cells hold color. Some cells reflect light like tiny mirrors. Some cells scatter light to create texture. All 3 layers working at the same time. It is like having a television screen wrapped around your entire body, with the ability to control every single pixel simultaneously. Here is surprising fact number 4. And this might be the wildest one of all. Octopuses are colorblind. Almost certainly completely colorblind. They only have 1 type of light receptor in their eyes. Humans have 3. And yet octopuses can match colors with incredible accuracy. How? Scientists are still not totally sure. One leading theory says that octopuses might use the tiny amounts of light that come through their skin to sense color directly through their entire body. They might literally see with their skin, not their eyes, their skin. Think about that for a second. You are a colorblind animal that can perfectly match any color in the ocean, using your skin, while simultaneously solving a puzzle with your arms, while squeezing through a crack in a rock. Octopuses are operating at a level that honestly makes humans look kind of boring. Here is surprising fact number 5. This shape-shifting ability is so powerful that octopuses have been found living in places that seem completely impossible. Researchers once found an octopus living inside a locked wire trap that had no opening big enough for it to have entered. It somehow found a gap, slipped through, ate everything inside the trap, and then could not get back out because it was too full. Even octopuses make mistakes, but also even their mistakes are kind of impressive. So let us bring this all together. The reason octopuses can change their body shape is not one reason. It is everything at once. No bones gave them the hardware. Losing their shell gave them the pressure. A giant distributed brain gave them the software. 200 million years of being everyone's favorite meal gave them the motivation. And evolution handed them the most sophisticated camouflage and shape-shifting system ever built. They are not doing a magic trick. They are doing a million calculations every single second just to stay alive, just to exist. Every squeeze through a crack, every color change, every arm doing its own thinking. It is all one big system that evolution spent an almost unimaginable amount of time building, and it worked. Octopuses have been around for over 300 million years. They watched the dinosaurs show up. They watched the dinosaurs disappear. They are still here, still squeezing through impossible gaps, still making themselves invisible, still hunting with their whole body, still confusing scientists with every single thing they do. So here is what I want you to think about. We have only explored a tiny fraction of the ocean. We do not know how many octopus species are out there. We do not know what abilities we have not discovered yet. We do not even fully understand the abilities we already know about. Which means, somewhere in the deep ocean right now, there is probably an octopus doing something that would completely blow our minds. And we have absolutely no idea what it is. So tell me in the comments. If you could have one octopus superpower, would you pick the shape-shifting, the color-changing skin, the arms that think for themselves, or something else? Because I genuinely cannot decide, and